Ron, I'm all set on my side, so whenever you guys want to get ready at 6:15.
Yep.
One moment, please. Okay, I'm ready. All right. You all set? Don?
I am.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the council meeting to order. Don, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Kathy Pucci? I do not see her online. Aaron Borowski?
Here.
Kevin Tansky?
Here.
Sue Grodick?
Here.
Ron Van Kirk?
Here.
Meg Ryan Shockey?
Here.
Andy Selhertz?
Here.
Thank you.
All right, for the public session, we did have two questions that were emailed, so I'm going to go ahead and read them one at a time, let them be addressed, and then we'll move on with our agenda. The first one says, if council approves taking away $250,000 from the Recreation Center Parks category and moves it to the Economic Development category for Big Creek Greenway, also known as Bike Path Recreational Trails, that will only leave a remaining balance of $200,000 for our park improvements. Will there be enough funds remaining for the capital improvement and upkeep of our public parks? It also appears that there was grant money allocated towards the Big Creek Greenway project. How much money was obtained through the grant? Has all of the grant money been utilized? Is it possible to seek additional funds from the Metro Parks and or their budget for the Big Creek Greenway if they want to run bike paths through the city of Brooklyn? Weren't the funds / improvements towards our parks part of a campaign promise in order to keep and maintain our existing parks? And then the second question on that, are the additional funds adjustment of 62.5 allocated towards Kingdom Trail also coming from grant money? If not, where will the funds be coming from or transferred from? So I'm not sure who in the administration would like to take that one.
I can answer that one,
All right, thank you.
Council President. So on the first set of questions, so as I mentioned to council, this is basically combining 3 projects, 2 of which were in the Recreation Department, M1 and M2 renovation, along with Memorial Park Pathway, and combining it into one project along with Big Creek Greenway, as this was how the project was bid out. So it makes more sense from an administrative perspective to have this as one overall project as it was how it was bid out. The overall scope of the individual projects have not changed. It's simply combining all 3 projects into one. Furthermore, overall costs are expected to be under budget, and we've been awarded $150,000 from ODNR for this project. So it doesn't change any of the scope, anything to do with recreation, just combining the 3 projects into one. And on the second set with the Kingdom Trail, so we were awarded $100,000 from ODNR for this project. The cost increases were results of a couple of different items. One of the items was we needed to increase the thickness of the asphalt in order to get public safety and service vehicles down there, as well as we've seen across the board increases as it relates to asphalt and other materials result in relation to this project. So the adjustment of $62,500 will come from the fund balance of the capital improvement fund. If we were not to go forward with this project, we would forego the grant funds, which we do not want to do of $100,000 from ODNR.
Okay, very good. That answers the questions. Thank you, Mr. Raguse. Appreciate that. All right, and then there was a second question that was from our second question. It says this: how is the city moving forward with the bike path project when the mayor stated at the safety meeting that they have not filled the 3 open spots across the city because of the uncertainty of the city finances?
Thank you, Council President. I'll take that one. As Tom already kind of recapped, these are 2 different budgets. We have an operating budget and a capital budget. The trail projects are out of the capital budget, which has already been allocated. As the operating budget, that will cover the positions. As we discussed before, we need to have some direction from City Council regarding the last safety meeting. We have direction from the City Council. It's pretty unanimous. Actually all unanimous in going forward with waiting till the budget work sessions to discuss additional staffing in the fire department. We've been taking a look at our finances over the last couple of months, and even though we are coming up short compared to last year, we feel confident to move forward with a fire position, whether that's, I left this up to the chief's discretion, whether he would like to move forward with an assistant chief or 1 additional firefighter position. Additionally, we have a retirement in our service department coming up. So the timing of moving forward with a replacement and an addition of a mechanic will be good timing. As you all know, the process of going through civil service and posting jobs is a long process. So doing it together in the job posting will make sense. As far as the recreation position, you know that our pool has been closed down for a big chunk of the last month because of improvements. And we are going to hold off on that position and discuss it again in fall session.
All right, very good. Anyone on council have any questions they want to ask the mayor or Tom in regards to those 2 questions? All right.
Excuse me. Hi, Ron. I'm here. I'm here
there
now.
you go. Okay, so Mrs. Fuji's having a hard time getting
I
in.
had to call in on my phone. For some reason, I got kicked out.
Okay. All right. Did you have a question, or you just letting us know you were here?
I'm just letting you know I'm here.
All right. Very good. Okay.
Which item are we on?
We were not on either of the items. There were a couple of questions that were emailed, and Mr. Raguse and the mayor were just answering those. So I can forward you the questions if you'd like them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ron, I think you muted yourself.
I did. You're right. Thank you. Resolution 2022-27. This authorizes the mayor to enter a contract with CEI for the LED street lighting project. Mr. Raguse did send us an email in regards to this. Did you want to touch on that a little bit more, Mr. Raguse?
Sorry, no, I was on mute. So I don't have anything to add. Darnella Robertson from CI and Carrie Wilson from Realterm are here as well to answer any questions that City Council may have.
Okay. All right. I know this is a project that's been ongoing for a while. Where's Mr. Selhertz? I don't see him up there. Are you here?
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. Anything, Mr. Selhertz? The email is pretty self-explanatory, but do you have any questions you want to have these gentlemen or this lady answer while we're here?
It's pretty much self-explanatory. The only thing, I mean, Tom was trying to get like a final number, and it's like a variable because there's also, we're on Memphis, we're pulling off a couple poles across from the City Hall by the rec center because of just the weight of the light distribution. We can get away with it. There's a couple additional 3 spots where poles exist. We're going to add lights because of just darkness existing there now. And the other kind of wild card is with the Memphis Bridge construction. You've got about 10 or 12 light fixtures. They're just kind of getting moved around. So it's not like a completely 100% accurate number. So that's for a little bit of why there's, a little bit of confusion or stuff like that. Okay.
Just for the record, that we'll be paying the cost will be $242 per fixture. It's an estimated cost of about $175,000. That's about $30,000 less than what the last time report that Real Term came back at, which is always a good thing. So that's kind of where it stands right now. Do we have any type of time frame? And that's the $1 million question. Any type of time frame where we're going to be able to move forward with this?
That's going to be on Darnella.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
How do
I
you-
guess that's for me to answer. Darnella Robertson, Regional External Affairs for First Energy, CEI. We don't know. I will say that Councilman Selhertz, your consultant Carrie Wilson, your finance director Tom Raguse, and of course Mayor Gallagher have all impressed upon me that we'd like to get this done as soon as possible. We are talking about in operations possibly contracting this out. That would be at no additional cost to the city. That's an internal discussion that we're trying to have, just to try to maybe expedite this, but we're not quite there yet. I do know that just yesterday, Andy, you'll get a kick out of this. Someone actually drove the city, and we now have a list, and I could share this with you just for kicks, of what's been changed out and what fixture is actually there. So we're making progress, and we'll get it done as soon as possible, and I can notify all the parties that have been working on this as we go along.
Probably should look kind of like my list already.
Yeah, that's why I thought you'd get a kick out of it. It is but this one's handwritten, so yours is a little better.
Okay,
These are operations guys.
okay.
All right. So at least it's in the hopper somewhere that we know it's going to happen at some point.
It is in the hopper, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom,
Very good.
just for the public's sake, can you give a little timeline of the rate of return on that expenditure?
The rate of return from the last analysis should approximately 7 to 8 years.
Okay.
So we'll make all of our money back within the 7 to 8 year time period.
I would
Based upon,
also,
I'm sorry, Mary, that was based upon the initial amount of 205,000. We expected to be sooner based on the new amount.
thanks, Tom. And, it's difficult when you're on Zoom, so don't apologize for interrupting. It's hard to know when someone's about to talk. But also I'd like to point out, this was something that was flagged in our resident survey. So, props to Tom and Andy who have done a lot of the heavy lifting with this project. It was clearly something residents called out as an area that needed to be improved as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to, if I might add, unlike in some other cities, a very detailed analysis has been done with this team as to, wattages, that are within our tariff. So we'd like to hope that on the front end, the brightness will be comfortable for the residents on the front end, as opposed to getting complaints and then having to change those out at potentially an extra cost. So I just thought I'd, add that as well.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right. Anyone else on the council have any questions? All right. Very good. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So
Okay.
I'll go ahead and, I'm sorry.
No, this is Kerry here. So if there's no questions, is that an invitation for Darnella and I to step off?
I think you're off the hook.
Okay.
Kerry,
Appreciate the metaphor.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate your time very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Anyone else on council have any questions before I make a motion?
No.
All right. Resolution 2022-27 introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second,
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Aaron Borowski,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Sue Grodick,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Meg Ryan Shaki.
Yes.
Thank you. To adopt. Oh, am I wrong?
no, you get to,
No.
I get to say yes too.
Oh, did I skip you? I apologize.
Yep.
Andy Selhertz.
I know I'm in a different time zone or whatever, but it's okay.
Gotta love Zoom. Still hiccups this many years later. Okay, so we got a yes for Andy to suspend the rules and then to adopt Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Aaron Borowski,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Sue Grodick,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Meg Ryan Shaki,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes,
Perfect. Sorry about that before.
that's okay.
All right. Second item on the agenda is ordinance 2022-23. This is to update the capital improvement plan for this year. Just to kind of highlight what Mr. Raguse said for the record. And this update will actually decrease the amount for the set aside for parks from $250,000 to $200,000. Two projects, M1 and M2 renovations, decreasing from $50K to $0. Memorial Park Pathway decreasing from $200 to $0, and then increasing the Big Creek Greenway from $250,000 to $471,945. As Mr. Raguse alluded to whenever he was answering the question, this just combines the projects together, but they will actually come back under cost, which is good, under the overall initial budget for that. And then secondly, the Kingdom Trail, which again he spoke about, is an increase of $62,500 to $210,000, and these cost increases are due to the increased depth for the asphalt as well as the increased cost of the asphalt. I think that pretty much goes over what those changes are. Did I get everything, Mr. Raguse?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments or questions from anyone on council? All right.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second,
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Aaron Borowski,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Sue Grodick,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Meg Ryan Shaki,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
yes,
Perfect. To adopt Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Aaron Borowski,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Sue Grodick,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Meg Ryan Shaki,
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
yes.
Thank you.
All right. That's all we have on our agenda.
Council President, can I just say something?
Sure.
So typically when we have public comment and special sessions, you all know it has to be relevant to the ordinance in front of us. There were a couple additional questions in the first email Ron had said publicly, specifically grant funding and that, and there is other grant funding pending. We'll have Jack answer those questions separately offline, just so you know that we'll get those additional little snippets answered.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor. All right. Anyone else have any comments or questions? All right. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
To adjourn, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Aaron Borowski,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Sue Grodick,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk. You're muted.
Yes. Sorry.
Meg Ryan Shaki
Yes.
and Andy Selhertz.
yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Have a good
Good
one.
night, Sam.
Thank you. Have a good evening.